airline operators in Nigeria have threatened to shut down from tomorrow, Monday, in protest against the skyrocketing cost of Jet A1, commonly known as aviation fuel. Now, in a letter to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, the airlines lament the astronomical increase of fuel from 190 naira per litre to 700 naira per litre. The operators say Jet A1 has shot up the cost of operations to over 95%. The operators are revolting, despite an appeal by the federal government to reconsider their stance on shutting down. Now, government is worried that such action would have a multiplier effect on the already distressed economy. And there does also seem to be more crisis in the aviation sector after 3 labour unions announced their intention to embark on a 2-day warning strike. The strike is to protest the government's failure to fulfil its promise to implement minimum wage, consequential adjustment in the aviation sector since 2019. They're also aggrieved by the government's failure to approve the reviewed conditions of service in the parastatals. Is that the word? Parastatals. Since 2013. And in a joint statement, the National Union of Air Transport Employees, the Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, and the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations said the strike would commence on Monday, May 9th. Now, Arise News understands that efforts by the Ministry of Aviation and the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission to resolve the issues have not been positive. The unions further threatened that if nothing concrete comes up after the warning strike, they would declare a total strike. Well, at this point, we'll go on to explore the underlying reasons behind the planned indefinite strike by aviation operators on local routes with our next guest, who is Captain ABDULLAHI Mahmood, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of AERO Contractors, Nigeria's oldest airline, representing the Airlines Association of Nigeria. You are welcome to the program. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good to have you with us.
Good to.
Well, tomorrow seems to be D-Day. Are you expecting that this strike will go ahead as planned tomorrow?
Actually, the word strike, I don't think that the airlines operators of Nigeria are planning for a strike. It's not a strike. It's just that we are telling the government that, look, we cannot continue buying fuel at this price. It's not sustainable. And this thing, we have been talking about it for at least for the past 2 months. And if you are following the news, we have been back and forth, meeting with the National Assembly, Ministry of Petroleum, Finance, and everything. We have been back and forth since these fuel prices have started skyrocketing. And if you remember the last time we had meeting in National Assembly, we even said, okay, you know, airline operators cannot even in the next 3 days, cannot continue operation. But the government came into, we appreciate and we thank the government for taking the decision. We had meeting with the Ministry of Petroleum, and promises were made. And at the point in time, I think 25,000 metric tons were given to the airline operators of Nigeria. We had meeting with NNPC, whereby we were called and were asked to designate some marketers, which these products are going to be allocated to them, and they are going to sell to the domestic operators as a fixed rate. But unfortunately, the first product came in, the 25,000 metric tons, and then they say there's another 50,000 coming in from Venezuela. All this government is trying to do at least to cushion the effect of the fuel price rising. And normally this product comes from NPC, there's what they call the import is at PIF, you know. So the first product came in, we designated some marketers, we sent the list of marketers that these products were to be given to them so that we buy directly from them. Along the line, whatever NNPC does, we don't know. Then this product never came. The marketers that were shortlisted, they came back to us. They said, okay, you know what? We have never got this product. Then now we went back again, back and forth, back and forth. We even had meeting with the Chief of Staff to the President on this issue. And airline operators, I can say, I think they are one of the most, loyal to this nation, in the sense that they are making sacrifices. Sacrifices in the sense that aviation business globally, the profit margin is very, very, very marginal. Probably from 2.5, maximum 5%. That is top. But at this rate, airline operators in Nigeria are heavily indebted to the tune of billions as of today.
Can you shed some more light on that? You know, you just said that you're not calling it a strike because obviously you guys are mostly privately owned,
yeah.
Correct? So it's, you guys are closing down your business. That's basically what you're doing at this point. So let us know, with the current aviation fuel price in Nigeria, what is the unit cost per seat on, let's say, a Boeing 737? And, you know, what would it be passed to the passengers if you were to divide that?
Fantastic, excellent question. And that is exactly why we say it's not a strike. The reason why we say it's not a strike, because we are trying to avoid passing this burden to the traveling public. If aviation, airlines are to give unit cost per seat at present fuel price, minimum ticket will range between 120 to 150,000 naira. Minimum economy class seat.
That's based on 700.
Based on 700.
Per
yes.
liter. Okay.
Based on 700 naira per liter, that is the minimum ticket an airline can sell. Tell me how many people can afford. When the ticket price goes to between 45, 50,000 naira, you could have seen the cry in the country. Yes. That ticket price has gone really, really up. People cannot afford it. The economic hardship is really tough. We do understand. And sometimes we do understand even the marketers where they are coming from. But something needs to be done, and something has to be done urgently. In any country, aviation is the economic drive of the nation. So attention needs to be focused on it seriously. Now, if you have to operate, you now put your base fare at 20 to 150,000 per seat.
For a 1 hour flight?
For a 1 hour flight.
Economy.
How many people can afford that? Are you going to operate with 10 passengers on board? The question is, will you operate a flight whereby the price ticket will not even pay for the fuel?
What was the cost per seat up until the time that you sold tickets last? Because I heard at the time that it was almost about 100,000 for economy seats.
No, not really, because once people say 100 seats, you find that in any aviation, airline business, there's what we call base fare.
Base fare.
Then you have your inventory. Okay. Your minimum ticket will start from X, let's say 40,000. The economy class will go all the way to 100,000. But it depends time that you buy the ticket. It depends on the time that you buy the ticket. I can sit down with you on the same flight. Your ticket is 40,000.
That's right.
My ticket is 80,000 or 100,000.
That's right.
So that does not mean that every person on that flight bought ticket as 100,000.
But the FCC PC, the consumer people, and I read what Mr. Rukera, said about it, that you guys are still selling, that not only have you not sold tickets till way beyond the time that you were proposing for the strike, initially, but that you are still selling tickets at the moment. And then if you now look at what Ibom Air is doing, saying that because of their commitments to lessors, to suppliers, etc., they can't afford, to go on any form of strike or down tools or to close business, because that will ruin them completely. So they would rather take the other, the arithmetic thing that we arrived at, to say that we'll pass the cost to whoever is ready to buy it. Otherwise, we will not be in business. What you're trying to do is not to be in business, but it's just to communicate the difficulties that you are going through. So my question is the Ibom Air option not an option that is suitable for the generality of your members, for example?
Okay, fine. Every operator has his own business model. Ibom whatever decision that was taken, they have been part and parcel of airline operators of Nigeria. We have been working very closely with them. All the achievement that airlines operators went through the government and we achieved is with them. So this decision that they have taken, based on probably they have source of funding somewhere. We are privately owned. We don't have any source of funding from anywhere. Probably they have somewhere funds that will cushion this effect for them. It's possible. But absolutely, do any maths, there is no way you can survive. An airline can survive. Now, it's not possible.
But they were among the people that signed the agreements to shut down operations. What do you think happened at that time when they signed that agreement?
Well, we had a discussion. Whatever happened after that, like I said, probably they are private, it's owned by the government. Things can happen after the meeting. The owners can decide to say, okay, you know what? We are going to do A, B, C, and D. For this reason, I don't think that you can shut down. Let's just continue. It's possible.
Is it correct to say that AERO contractors in particular is in a far more precarious situation, and that's why you're probably pushing, this downing of tools, etc.? Because people are saying, and I would like your clarification on that, that after 61 years, it looks like AERO is about to go down. Is that correct?
If you look at the problem, my interview with these days, every single thing that I said on that interview is copy and paste on each airline in Nigeria. It's the same problem. I talk about fuel. That's what airlines are facing today, high cost of fuel. That is the major component of your ticket. Generally, you find that it's between maybe 30, 33% on a good day when you have the fuel price is really, really good. But as of today, if you, assuming you make sales of 10 million naira, right?
Ticket.
Let's say 10 million naira. You are talking about 8 million to 8.5 million naira go to fuel.
That's where we are now.
That's where we are. It's not only AERO, across the board. And I talk about Forex. As of today, parallel market has gone to 600 naira to $1. In aviation, every component to the brush that you clean the aircraft with, you import it.
Is it the parallel market that airline operators are operating on?
Of course, we get money from the black market. We don't get money from a central bank. Wow. Yeah. If you apply, they say there's a window. You apply to the banks, your commercial bank. Let's say I need $500,000. Right? Yes. The bank will come in 3 months, they will give you $25,000.
Wow.
You are looking for $500,000. And that brought a lot of dishonesty with our vendors outside the country. You have the naira. You want to source for the Forex to pay. You tell your vendor that, okay, you will get your money on Tuesday. You go to the black market, you want to buy. What happened is, he will tell you, okay, I have money in Zenith Bank. You have your account in Zenith Bank. I transfer, I need $100,000. I gave you the naira. I'm expecting $100,000. He will come back 2 days later, he will tell you, oh, sorry, I don't have $100,000, I will give you $50,000. You already make promise to your vendor outside. On Tuesday, you will have your telex transfer. On Tuesday, you don't pay him. You call him and start giving him excuse. What happened now is he will not trust you. He will think that, okay, you are playing games. So that is one of the biggest challenges that airlines are facing. I talk about that. And all the airlines, we pay in leases from aircraft lease, engine leases, buying spare parts, cost of maintenance is going really, really high.
I mean, you talked, sorry, Oji, you talked about how when we mentioned Ibom Air, for example, you said that even if they are able to continue, it could be a situation where they may have funds from another area, but you still insist that it's still not sustainable under this current climate. So between the operators who are going to be downing tools tomorrow and those who are going to continue operation, is there a situation where you feel you're both ending up in the same place? So even with you deciding to down tools, is there a fear that you won't be able to pick them back up again?
Because at the end of the day, like I said, airlines are heavily indebted. If we continue operation, what you are doing, you are doubling the liability of your company.
How so?
Now, fuel marketers, all of us are indebted to the fuel marketers, right? Okay. As you are buying the fuel, you still have outstanding. Most time you find that it's not the current fuel that you buy that you are paying for. You are paying the outstanding debts for them to give you fuel. And if it continues, the fuel marketers also are in business to make money. If we continue the way we are doing right now, at the end of the day, we will start having what is called consistent delays. Delays in the sense that, okay, you don't pay for fuel. Fuel marketer is there, he doesn't want to give you fuel. Your passengers are sitting down waiting because you don't have the cash flow to pay for that fuel. So at the end of the day, you find out that, okay, you are operating, but every single time you are operating on credit and you are done piling up your debts. And you put on piling, at a point in time, you have to draw a line to stop this indebtedness. Well, banks are watching. Banks are watching. They are seeing what is happening.
Now, have you guys explored all the other options before you decided to shut down operations? And if we were to go back to the 25,000 metric tons of aviation fuel approved by President Muhammadu Buhari, how can that help? And why is it that you guys are not going towards that? Why aren't you guys fighting to get that approval done properly in order to continue operations?
We have done, like I said, for almost 2 months, we have been on this issue, back and forth. President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, I can tell you, has helped the aviation industry. We got so many waivers from custom, importing of aircraft, spare parts, and everything. But this what is happening, we are even helping the government and the traveling public. That's what we are trying to do. And that is what we are doing. Because probably most of this thing, I can say maybe the president don't have no idea what is going on. But how could you have all this approval? The fuel came. What happened? Why was it diverted? Who diverted it? It's $1 million question. And NNPC still bring the PIF. They still import.
So this is about the aviation ministry on the one hand and the petroleum ministry on the other hand in terms of solving the logjam that we're in.
Yeah, the aviation ministry, there's, I can say, little they can do in this. Because yes, despite the fact that it's under the Ministry of Aviation, but Ministry of Aviation have basically less or nothing to do with fuel supply.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so now, what is the role of, let's say, the central bank and the Ministry of Finance in all of this, including the oil marketers and NNPC?
Okay, first of all, the Minister of Finance, we went to Minister of Finance based on this, all this, that the waivers that we talk about, custom duties and whatever, which we thank the present government by giving all those approval. We appreciate that, totally. So the central bank, where we are looking at the central bank is on the forex. Can I have water?
Sure.
what do you call it, on the forex.
All right.
You know, so all we need is give us a forex window whereby we can access dollars
Okay.
at CBN rate. That will cushion a lot on the aviation. All the issues that we are having, paying the leases, importing spare parts.
Yeah.
Like I said, every single component on aviation is dollarized. We don't fabricate anything locally.
All right. I think
It's quite a sobering conversation there, isn't
it
it?
is, and we're not done yet with it
We're
because
not.
we'll still be speaking with Mr. Nwuba on this, isn't it?
Yes,
Adefemi?
we will do.
Okay.
Well, so I guess we'll go on a short break at
We will. Before we do that, we wanted to thank you for joining us.